News at 11 starts now.
Welcome to 8 News at 11. We have breaking news tonight. A 9-year-old autistic boy is missing in Hanover after running off here at North Anna Battlefield Park. Our 8 News reporter Dara Copley is live in Hanover with the latest on the search.
Well, 8 hours and counting as the search continues for this 9-year-old Caroline boy. Robbie Wood Jr. was last seen just before 3 this afternoon along the hiking trails at North Anna Battlefield Park here in Doswell with his father and little brother. Robbie suffers from autism and does not talk. He was last seen wearing shiny athletic blue pants, long red sleeve shirt, blue shoes. Officers with Hanover, Caroline, and Virginia State Police are all searching the 80-acre park for this little boy. Captain Mike Trice spoke with the boy's family earlier this evening.
They're very concerned about their son, their family and friends. They're very concerned. It's going to get cold tonight. He's alone. I'm sure he's scared. It's heart-wrenching, I'm sure, for the family, for the emergency personnel involved. We all wanted to find this young man.
Happening right now, the search is on for a little boy in Hanover County. He went missing yesterday at the North Anna Battlefield Park in Doswell. 8 News reporter Laura Morse joins us now live with an update on the search.
We're now entering the 14th hour since this little boy, this 9-year-old boy, has been missing, and this search, it has gone on all night, and it is expected to continue later on this morning.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to 8 News at noon. I'm Amy Lacey. Our top story today, search efforts intensifying for a missing 9-year-old boy with autism in Hanover County. Kim Schumacher joins us now live from Hanover County with an update.
It's been 21 hours since 9-year-old Robbie Wood went missing, and search efforts continue. Here's the latest that we just got from a briefing. There are 2 search groups working grids right now. In addition to manpower, they're also using aerial units and canine units, but we're told so far the bloodhounds have not been able to pick up the little boy's scent.
8 News at 6 starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Juan Condi. We begin tonight with breaking news. The search for a missing boy with autism takes on new urgency as it enters a second night. You're looking at 9-year-old Robbie Wood, who was last seen at North Anna Battlefield Park in Doswell. Our team coverage on this story begins tonight with 8 News reporter Kim Schumacher.
We're on the edge of the park where 9-year-old Robbie Wood went missing. It's been 27 hours and the search is now going into its second day and another cold night with no sign of the little boy, who is autistic and we're told likely to hide, and the terrain here is hazardous. Search teams have been working around the clock since 9-year-old Robbie Wood went missing. According to authorities, Robbie's father and his girlfriend took Robbie and his younger brother to North Anna Battlefield Park when Robbie wandered off the trail and they lost track of him. That was around 2:45 yesterday afternoon. The search began immediately and lasted throughout the night with no luck as temperatures dropped into the 40s.
The canines that we're using yesterday and today are bloodhounds. So you're right, we have acquired scent articles for Robbie, and we needed cooperation of his family to do that.
Authorities say it's a rural, densely wooded area with a lot of hazards bordering the park, including railroad tracks, a rock quarry, and the North Anna River. 300 rescuers are searching by foot. There's also crews searching by air and along the river.
The conditions as far as the river is concerned, we're looking at water depths anywhere between 4 inches up to 5 feet.
Robbie is from Caroline, but attends the Vazan School for Autism in Richmond. 2 of his teachers are here for his mother and working with authorities on different ways to approach Robbie.
Robbie is an adorable 9-year-old boy with autism.
Robbie Wood Jr.'s desk sits empty at the Vazan School in Richmond while crews comb the woods for his whereabouts.
Someone that likes to explore and check out his environment and wander about and see new things.
Teachers know Robbie's condition is making the search more difficult.
He is unable to communicate effectively. He can make sounds, but he isn't someone that can ask for help. If you call Robbie's name, he's not likely to turn and look in your direction or respond to his name being called.
But they believe his energy will keep him alive.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't sleep through the night last night, if he continued to walk around and check out his environment, and if he continued to be on the move last night, because he's a very active child.
Well, Amy, there have been several meetings this morning. There was first a meeting at 7 a.m. and that was with the crews, and they of course got briefed on the search. And right now at this very hour at 9 a.m., volunteers are coming in and they're doing the exact same thing, getting briefed on the search, all to find a 9-year-old boy with autism.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for 8 News at noon. I'm Morgan Dean. Our top story today, the search continues for a boy who went missing in Hanover County. Robbie Wood disappeared on Sunday here in North Anna Battlefield Park. 8 News reporter Kim Schumacher joins us now live from Kings Dominion, where hundreds of volunteers have come out to help search today. Kim?
Still a very long line here at Kings Dominion. A lot of anxious people here and a lot of patient people here waiting to register. They're anxious to assist in the search for Robbie Wood. Registration began at 9 a.m., but volunteers started arriving at 7:30 this morning. Hanover authorities tell us well over 1,000 people have shown up here. The people are showing their ID, having a volunteer ID made for them, and then they're getting assessed as to whether they're fit enough. They have to be able to walk at least 5 miles on rough terrain. Then after that, they watch a video explaining what they'll be dealing with, what to look for, and how to deal with Robbie if they see him, because he is autistic.
Today marks day 3 in the search for the 9-year-old boy who disappeared in a Hanover park.
Robbie Wood is autistic and doesn't speak. That's making search efforts that much more difficult.
He was last seen Sunday at the North Anna Battlefield Park in Doswell around 3 p.m. As we mark hour 51, more than 800 volunteers combed an expanded search area.
Those efforts also included multiple officers, bloodhounds, and helicopters. 8 News reporter Kim Schumacher is at the scene live and begins our live team coverage. Kim?
We're heading into a third cold night. Emotions are high. Folks are anxious and motivated to find Robbie. Today was the first day to include citizen volunteers who are optimistic that he will be found. The response was overwhelming. Nearly 1,000 people came to volunteer in the search for 9-year-old Robbie Wood.
It's just absolutely heartbreaking. I've not slept for nights thinking about this child.
I've got 2 kids myself, and I can't imagine what these parents are going through.
Registration began at 9, but volunteers began lining up at 7:30 this morning, anxious to do something to help. Melena Perry's son is Robbie's classmate.
My son has autism. He goes to Faison School for Autism.
Ordinary housewives, people that taking off from work, things like that. It's pretty amazing.
The volunteers go through a 30-minute registration process, which includes watching a training video, and then they're bussed out to North Anna Battlefield Park to help with grid searches. The terrain is treacherous. It's densely wooded with ravines, gullies, and sheer drops.
We've added another 1,600 yards of road frontage, all the way back to the North Anna River today.
The total search area around the 80-acre park is now 3 miles long and 1.5 miles wide. Both aerial and river searches continue. At a press conference late today, the Hanover sheriff thanked everyone for their help.
I'd like to thank the community for his support.
He also stressed that bloodhounds confirm Robbie's presence at the park and that people shouldn't speculate that he wasn't.
We should not forget Robert's family, who has been here with us since Sunday. They fully cooperated with all of our inquiries. Any suggestion otherwise is simply not true.
Now they're asking for citizen volunteers again tomorrow. Same drill, Kings Dominion, 9 a.m. And they're hoping that many of the same people who volunteered today will come back tomorrow. And that's because they've already gone through what's about a 30-minute training and registration process, so they'll be able to be deployed more quickly. We're going to turn it over now to Dara Copley, who has more. Dara?
Thanks, Kim. Folks living nearby the North Anna Battlefield Park are also helping with the search. I followed 2 neighbors as an entire community comes together to find this little boy.
I brought a snack, darling. We live around the corner, so we know the area very well. Anytime there's a child in trouble, I think the whole neighborhood comes together. And we were anxious to get out here. We all walked our own property before they let the volunteers come out. Well, property, looking at little places that have water, because we heard that he was interested in water. Just a little bit with the binoculars, obviously, and scanned out here for anything on the edges. It's really marshy all the way back there. But there's not much there, so I don't think it would hold him for very long, but it's worth a shot. What goes through my mind, because I do know the terrain, is that there's a fellow explorer out there who could get into some trouble out here. Robbie! Careful, there's plenty of poison ivy and wisteria back here. Well, it is frustrating. I'm more hopeful that we're having nice weather and there might be more time.
Tonight, the search for that missing 9-year-old autistic boy, Robbie Wood, is entering its third night. 8 News reporter Nate Eaton is live tonight with details for us. Nate?
Yeah, Juan, it has been 2.5 days since Robbie was last seen. This is the third night that he is alone inside of the park. A long 2.5 days for his family and friends. Many of them gathered tonight, over 100 at a vigil. They are praying for a miracle. A community.
We thank you for gathering here tonight to pray for a desperate situation.
Comes together.
I wanted to be doing something to help.
One by one.
We know that you are watching over him.
They pray.
Please hand him back to his mother and his father, for their hearts are breaking.
And thank you for all the people who are here praying for him.
They sing.
What grace that taught my heart to sing.
They hope.
We intercede for Robbie.
We intercede for Robbie.
I have a child with autism who's 8 and nonverbal.
Lord, bring him home safe.
Lord, bring him home safe.
Bless everyone here, because if my son were missing, I would want these same people looking for him.
We praise you. And we love you.
He's out there in the woods all by himself, and I'm 10, so he's almost my age, and I feel really bad for him.
It'd be wonderful to get some good news tonight.
And we claim it in the name of Jesus Christ.
I won't sleep or eat until they find him, because he's my son, too.
Amen.
Amen.
And organizers say they may hold a vigil every night until Robbie is found. They're not quite sure on those plans, but tonight's was so successful, they may hold another one tomorrow. Meanwhile, the search continues tomorrow. Caitlin Sherwood joins me now. Caitlin, there has really been an outpouring by the community.
That's right. There were hundreds of volunteers who came out today and gave up their entire day searching these dense woods for any sign of little Robbie. And a lot of the folks that I spoke to are parents themselves who say they didn't think twice before coming out to help with the search efforts.
I personally came out here because I have 7 children, 6 of them boys, and I could not imagine what that family's been through.
We're going to move in.
After spending their day dedicated to finding Robbie Wood, citizen search and rescue teams came back empty-handed. They say these thick woods are unforgiving even for adults, but they are holding out hope that Robbie will be found safe.
The briars and the thorns was the worst part of it. Is every step you take, you have something cutting up your face or cutting into your hands, and trying to imagine that there's a kid out here somewhere that's enduring it, and it makes you want to keep pushing forward.
The briars and all the fallen trees on top of one another, then undergrowth growing underneath that. It was tough terrain.
Despite not finding anything in their search today, most of the volunteers I caught up with this evening say they do plan on coming back tomorrow to help, adding that if you plan on joining the search team, come prepared.
Everybody comes out tomorrow, boots, jeans, gloves, a hooded jacket if you can, because a lot of times it was just putting the hood on your jacket and blurring through.
Welcome to 8 News at 5. I'm Juan Condi. Tonight, the search is growing desperate for Robert Wood Jr., the 9-year-old autistic boy who wandered off Sunday from his family at North Anna Battlefield Park. As day 4 of the search begins, almost 1,000 volunteers and all of Central Virginia holds out hope. Our live team coverage tonight begins with details from 8 News anchor Morgan Dean. Morgan?
Hey, good evening to you, Juan. It was another intense day of searching for 9-year-old Robert Wood Jr., who's been missing since Sunday. They ran a total of 94 different search missions today, over 40 new zones in the area around North Anna Battlefield. But so far, there are no signs of the missing boy.
The scope of our search today, as I briefed earlier, for the volunteers, has been to the south of Verdun Road to the area of the Little River.
With 22 square miles to go over, searchers were in the sky, on the ground, and in the water. 9-year-old Robert Wood Jr. disappeared 150 yards from the North Anna River. Search dogs have tracked his scent to the shore, and that's why searchers and divers were out on the water today.
We're all looking for clues. We've had our group on our side along with the dogs that have been through here to see if we can track anything. That's pretty much what they're doing along the river to see if there's any places or clues that they might have seen where somebody might have come in.
You can see the searchers in kayaks here on the North Anna River. It's not easy going. They're actually having to get out of their boats to get around some of the rocks and little tidal pools here. The water level is actually 2 feet lower than it was on Sunday when Robbie went missing. That's because they're holding water up in Lake Anna to try and give the searchers a little better area to look into. Volunteers have found personal items during the intense searches, but none of those items have been tied to Robert. Officials are not giving up hope that he will be found alive.
We are operating under the assumption and with the understanding that Robert Wood Jr. is alive, and we are seeking to give him the aid that he needs and to reunite him with his family.
And it really is incredible when you think of all the volunteers and all the coordinated searches that have been going on up here.
Of course, we continue to track the very latest in the search for Robert Wood Jr. The Hanover Sheriff's Department is now briefing us, and we join them in progress.
As you can see today, we've had a good showing today. We hope to staff 1,000 volunteers today and move them on these search missions as quickly as possible. It is important, and somebody said earlier, today is the day. And I and about 1,000 people here believe that and are going to work hard to make that happen.
8 News at 5 starts now.
You know, we wouldn't be asking 1,000 volunteers to come help us if we didn't think he didn't need immediate help. We are in the life-saving mode, definitely.
It has been 5 days since 8-year-old Robert Wood Jr. wandered off into the woods in Hanover County. More than 1,500 volunteers spent today looking for him. Bloodhounds, helicopters, and additional dive teams are aiding in the search. Robert's mother, father, and family friends are also helping. After 98 hours, officials say they are not giving up on finding Robert alive. 8 News reporter Catherine Hawley spoke to a local doctor today about surviving in these conditions.
Medical experts say people can survive outdoors for weeks without eating, but the average person can only go a few days without drinking. So for a child lost outdoors, dehydration is the biggest concern. Pediatrician David Arkin tells me dehydration becomes an issue after just a day or two without fluids.
The whole body gets weak and the whole body chemistry is thrown off and you get quite ill. And you can die from dehydration.
Dr. Arkin says drinking rainwater or from a creek or river that may be contaminated is okay in the short term. It's more important to drink. As far as food, there's always a chance a child will eat something poisonous from the wild.
Fortunately, we don't have a lot of poisonous plants growing wild in Virginia, but there are some poisonous mushrooms and so on that could pose a problem.
And then there's the weather. Hypothermia sets in when body temperatures drop below 95. That can happen from being outside in the cold or in cold water. Lows tonight will be in the upper 40s, dropping even more over the weekend.
Time is certainly of the essence. No matter where we are now, finding any lost child sooner is going to be better than later.
We begin our team coverage tonight with 8 News reporter Caitlin Sherwood, who has information about tomorrow's volunteer location. Caitlin?
That's right, Juan. Over the past several days, close to 3,000 volunteers have been trained in the search for Robert. And authorities are hoping that a lot of those folks will come back out tomorrow if Robert is not found overnight. Now, the volunteer headquarters has been moved from Kings Dominion down the street to the Meadow Event Park. This has been the scene at Kings Dominion for the past several days, but now approaching the weekend, the volunteer operation must be moved. So this tent city and command center has been set up here at Meadow Event Park.
All the equipment's got to be moved. We've got to reset up for the volunteers, the eating, the water, hydration, the rehab, and all the vehicles and the bus loop.
Have been working all evening to make sure this site is fully operational by the morning.
Wow, it's probably finished by 12 o'clock tonight, so it'll be a seamless transition so the volunteers can come in tomorrow morning and we can look for Robert.
This area will be set up similar to the headquarters at Kings Dominion. Each tent will serve a purpose. Some will be for food, others for processing and training volunteers.
And we're looking at a little weather change coming in tomorrow, so we decided we put some nice tents, and they're heated and air conditioned. So if someone's gotten cold, we can rehab them, get the temperature back back up and take care of them in a better fashion.
All right, let's go. Move forward.
1,200 volunteers were deployed in search teams today, and another 300 who weren't sent out were already trained. Authorities hope those people come back tomorrow so they can get started on the search for Robert as early as possible. They have missions for 1,000 volunteers Friday.
A lot of them have taken off from work, and I've seen a lot of them 3 and 4 days in a row, but I think people want to have the opportunity to make a difference, and they do.
Now, again, you are asked to come to Meadow Event Park tomorrow. For return volunteers, you're asked to be there by 8 a.m. New volunteers come at 9. Now, the outpouring from the entire community has been amazing, and I'm joined now by Nate Eaton, who has more on that.
Yeah, Caitlin, you know, since Sunday, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of food, water, and other supplies have been donated. In fact, in this garage right behind me, there's one area that is stacked with water clear up, you know, to my waist and a little higher. There's also areas with food and snacks. All of this, just another example of the community coming together. Thousands of meals, piles of snacks, and an endless supply of bottled water. Running a massive search effort with busloads of volunteers takes a lot of food, and every single bit of it has been donated.
People have been just pulling up, popping open the hatch and saying, I've got some stuff.
Richard Acuna is one of those people. He dropped off 3 cases of water tonight.
I haven't been able to help because I work, but if I can help tomorrow or Saturday, I'll be here.
The majority of the donations comes from businesses, everything from pizza to hamburgers to sandwiches to hot coffee.
It's harder to think of a restaurant that I haven't seen here over the last couple days.
While some work to bring Robert home by donating items, others pray. For the 3rd night in a row, a vigil was held. Folks were encouraged to sign this big postcard that will be given to Robert's parents. Those here and everyone else thinking of the boy hope he's found soon and are humbled by the community.
It makes me feel good as a mother that when something happens to one of our kids, that there's such a response.
And tomorrow, those searchers may need some extra help, as over the past 2 or 3 hours, the temperature has dropped significantly here, and it is now starting to rain. Guaranteed, though, that won't keep people away as the search resumes again in the morning.
Day 6 in this search, and conditions are grueling. It's cold, it's starting to rain, and the terrain is rough. In fact, we learned that yesterday a volunteer collapsed and suffered a heart attack. He's being treated at a hospital. Still, the crowds of volunteers are back. Despite the chilly temperatures, another long line of volunteers at Meadow Event Park, the new meeting area to search for 8-year-old Robert Wood.
She got plenty of water.
While the terrain is treacherous, this woman is back for day 2.
I tell myself that I'm not allowed to complain because he's been out there since Sunday night, and I just think that the more people, the better.
For today's search, 9 specialized teams will re-canvass the area where Robert was last seen.
We got about 20 zones that we want these people to check. They're smaller, they're more detailed, it's a more rugged area.
And today, on day 6 of the search, questions were raised about Robert's parents. Where are they? Why haven't we seen them? Police say they are cooperating, and they've been part of the search.
They've been shoulder to shoulder with the volunteers. They're doing everything they can do within their limits to assist in locating their son. Like I said yesterday, there's no pattern for this. There's no normal response for this.
We are now getting official word from authorities that Robert Wood Jr., the 8-year-old with autism who was lost on Sunday in North Anna Battlefield Park, has been found alive. Let's take some live pictures now. You see him there next to us.
This is reportedly where the chopper landed, the Medflight chopper, to take Robert. We're told to MCV. Those searchers, the trained searchers, and also the volunteers were on horseback. They went through the river. They were in kayaks, on foot. They did grids of the entire area. I think at one point it was opened up to a 3.5-mile area, and it was a step-by-step process. Of course, word is just spreading by social media. We want to go to Nate Eaton now. He is keeping tabs on what's being posted online, what he do you have for us, Nate?
Yeah, a lot of comments, Christina. You know, in our newsroom, we first heard about this through a text message. One of our employees got a text from a friend who said, "We're hearing Robert Wood may have been found alive." We instantly started to try to confirm that news, and then all over our Facebook wall, people saying, "We're hearing that he's alive," and it's turned from "we're hearing that he's alive" to "it's confirmed he's alive."
Let's go back now to 8 News reporter Carrie O'Brien, who is live at the scene. Carrie?
The Caroline County Sheriff has confirmed to 8 News that 8-year-old Robert Wood has been found and that he is alive. We're told he was found west of the quarry here at Misty Morning Lane. That is where you see a lot of police activity right now. This is off of Verdon Road. This is the area where crews have been searching for 6 days now. And again, we are hearing Robert Wood has been found alive. Earlier, we saw a med-flight chopper land and take off. We're told that Robert is on that chopper and heading to MCV or VCU Medical Center right now. We don't know anything about his condition, but again, we are hearing that he is alive at this point.
And you're seeing a map here of the area. The quarry where Robert was found is right there on the left-hand side of your screen, on the left-hand side of Verdon Road, to the west of Verdon Road. And we're told now that the boy was found on the west side of the quarry. I can't imagine what a joy it will be to take down these signs from the storefronts in Hanover County and around the area, and from these poles, because Robert A. Wood, our missing 8-year-old here in the metro area, has been found alive today after 5 full days in the wilderness.
We want to go now to 8 News reporter Mark Tenya. He is live at VCU Medical Center.
Yes, Christina, we are not being told anything at this point. Hospital officials are not telling us whether or not Robert is headed towards here, but what we can tell you is that we did hear a helicopter come to the hospital about 10 minutes ago, and we did see a Hanover County Sheriff's deputy's car go into the emergency entrance of the hospital.
This is the exclusive video of the med-flight chopper that we presume is carrying Robert Wood Jr. to VCU Medical Center. That's right here only on 8 News, and of course other medical personnel out there on the scene.
And we want to make sure our chief photographer Paul Nevdomsky gets kudos for that. He has the only picture of that medical helicopter with Robert inside.
We're showing you a picture now of a very, very happy search crew. This is sent in from Lori Warren, who took off a couple of vacation days to help. This is her group being called back in on the bus after Robert was found. Their work and their volunteer efforts no longer needed. Let's see who's giving today's briefing. We're told that it's going to be Hanover County Sheriff David Hines will be there. Let's listen in.
Thank you for being here. Robert Wood Jr. has been found and reunited with his family. He was found at approximately 2 p.m. on the Martin Marietta quarry property. It was approximately 3/4 to a mile from where he was last seen. The search is over. The investigation continues, and there are a lot of people to thank. And if I forget, I would like to thank the media. You have been so responsive to all of our needs. You got our message out, and you kept it out. And I would truly want to thank you for that. We have 6,000 volunteers to thank, and not just from Hanover County, but from the entire region. I met a lady from Alaska who was here visiting with her daughter and felt compelled to join the search.
What a change in mood here. Everyone is so relieved. Everyone is walking around with smiles on their faces. Just a very different feeling than it was even just this morning. You know, today people were really starting to get concerned and think the worst. And what a turnaround in just a few hours.
We have just received a statement from Governor Bob McDonnell on the rescue of Robert Wood Jr. I want to read part of it. He says, "Today the best possible result to a very difficult situation came to pass when Robert Wood Jr. was found alive in Hanover County."
We have Captain Mike Trice with the Hanover Sheriff's Office. Captain, can come on over and talk to us. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Tell us, how are you feeling? You've been the face in front of this for most of the time now. People have been seeing you for days. Tell us how you're feeling now.
Well, what I've been doing for days is representing about 6,000 or 7,000 people. It's been a lot of responsibility because they've been doing an extraordinary amount of work, and the effort that I have seen, from one end of this operation to the other, has been awesome. And the people that I work with and the people that have come out of the community, it's been a blessing to have worked with them. And I'm just glad, very glad, we're all elated that he's been found safely.